Hi again, guys. Tonight, hope you're all well in this kind of really freezing weather. It's freezing over here in the UK. Wherever else you guys are. I know there's guys from the States and Europe and that, but it's absolutely freezing over here at the minute. So I hope you're keeping warm and nice. Plenty of drumming. It's going to keep you warm. Okay. So tonight's lesson, as you're aware, is a viewer's choice. So you know that means anything and everything that you can throw at me, I will do my best to answer it. If it's a too in-depth thing, maybe we'll get back to you and say we'll do it in a further lesson. But there's quite a lot of questions in already, so we've got to answer these first. Any that come in, you know, in and amongst, then great. But the big thing from tonight, as you probably all know, is that somebody at the end of this, normally we give away, you know, maybe the odd half-hour Skype lesson or something like that. Yeah? With it coming up to sort of Christmas time, I'm going to be giving away a year's subscription to the site. Okay, a lot of the lessons are in there now in the archive, so there's all sorts of things to do. The members that are in there are giving me massive feedback and saying it's great, you know, everything's brilliant, they're learning a lot from it. A tiny fraction of the prices it costs for sort of one-to-one lessons, you know, in particular in here. So it's all, you know, everything's good, guys. So you can still get your questions in. I will do my best to answer them, but I've got about, you know, quite a few questions here that I want to really get to. Okay, some of them are actually linked together, so what I'll probably do is try and answer them all together, and then we'll see where we go from there. All right, so let's jump straight in. As I said, you know, questions right hand side of the screen, down there, anything you want to send it in, it's coming straight through. Okay, so let's crack on. I've got a question from Paul regarding, a lot of these are actually regarding my playing and the way that I've developed it, which is fine because this is the way that I teach. Okay, so the first one is with regards to my hand speed, and that my hand speed is pretty quick. How have I developed that? Okay, and the answer to it is there's actually the exercise is already in the members area. It's actually live online as well on YouTube, so you can find this where, you know, you don't need to be a member to find this, you'll be able to find it. It's on the Carrera drums, on the Carrera Terrier snare drum site. I did that when I did the video shoot for Carrera, and it's a really simple exercise. Okay, it's all about getting the sticks to do the work and the drums to do the work so that you don't have to. Okay, and all the exercises, you know, I've done this a million times around the country in clinics and things, and you know, and it's still, you know, in my eyes, the way to get things to work properly. Okay, so all it is, it's eighth notes on your right hand, eighth notes on your left hand, 16th notes hand to hand. Okay, really easy. Okay, really simple. Okay, so let's have a look at it. You do it with a click, start it slowly, and then gradually start to speed it up until you feel comfortable with it. Don't push it too far. If you think that it's gone too far, bring it back a little bit and work it over weeks and work it over months. Don't think that you're going to achieve, you know, a 200 beats a minute or 250 beats a minute or whatever it is, you know, by doing it for 10 minutes. It's a daily thing of maybe 5-10 minutes a day, gradually increasing that click until you feel that everything's working. But as I've said before, it's all about moving the ability level so that when you're playing, it all becomes easier. So if your general playing is here, you know, let's take that from a slow speed to a faster speed to the fastest speed you play at, but your ability level is there, you're going to keep butting up against that. Okay, so the idea is that you move your ability level over here so that you actually get nowhere near that when you're playing in the comfort of your, you know, your comfort zone. All right, so here's the exercise that I've used. This is really the only exercise I've used to get the hand speed working. So Paul, great question. Okay, and this is the answer. It's eighth notes. It's as simple as that, just building it up, but really building it up really slowly, really gradually, okay? Yeah. Making sure that when you push the stick down, it comes back, okay? So using the free stroke that we talked about before, yeah? And you just really imagining that you're bouncing a ball, okay? Imagine that you're bouncing a ball, pushing it down, it's coming back to your hand, Okay, you don't push it down and stop it and pull it back. You push it down and it comes back by itself. Okay, so that's the exercise to look at. Really just throw that stick down. Yeah, really throw that stick down, and then the stick will rebound, come back into your hand, and it's, you know, you're away with it. Yeah, put really slow increments. So maybe start maybe 80 beats a minute, get it really clean, move it up by 5, and keep pushing it and keep pushing it. I think I'm somewhere around about the 300 beats a minute mark at the minute with it. Yeah, okay, but you know, again, that's taking it to extremes. You're not really going to need to play up there. Okay, but that just means now that my hand speed can take care of pretty much anything that anybody puts in front of me. Okay, so that's good, guys. Good question, Paul. The other thing as well is, imagine when you're playing this stuff that you are, you know, for the guys of you that drive out there, yeah, imagine that you're racing somebody off from a set of traffic lights. Yeah, okay, what you wouldn't set off and then get to 3,000 revs and change gear. Yeah, you'd stick it round to the red line, ram it into the next gear, yeah, round again, yeah. That's the same thing here. Stick height, yeah, try and push it to the maximum you can at the biggest you can. And then when it runs out, change gear, come down a little bit in height. Yeah, change gear, down a little bit in height, change gear, down a little bit in height. What happens when we get faster is that we really have to get lower, because the distance between a full stroke and the drum head is too far when we're playing fast. Okay? So if you go from here and then just go down a little bit, down again, you'll end up down here. Okay, you'll end up down there. So that would be kind of top gear. Yeah. So make sure that you try and max it out if you can at each height, and then gradually just keep the height falling. And that's another, you know, that's the best way to get this to work, Paul. Okay, so that is really the only exercise that I would say that you really need to look at. It works. It's worked for all my students, and it's really, really well. I think one of my students at the minute, he was at about 240, I think. And you know, he's just done it gradually. He started it really slowly, and he's gradually worked it up, and he's now doing fantastic with it. Okay, so brilliant, Paul. Thanks very much, mate, for your question. Okay, so next question is from James, and this is regarding building the weaker side. Now, all these 3 questions are really, really kind of together. You know, they can be answered all in one. Yeah, because I've got another question from Ben, which is, with me being one of Dom's students, why do I not play open-handed? Okay, or have I developed the open-handed thing, or how to develop the open-handed thing as well, I suppose. Yeah, and that comes down to the weaker side. It comes down to hand speed, and it comes down to the open-handed thing. So really, Ben, James, and Paul, we can answer all these questions together. Okay, so let's go with the weaker side first. The easy way to work with the weaker side is to double it up. Yeah, so for example, if you're doing the hand speed exercise we just talked about, double up the left, or you know, do much more with the left. Do 1 bar with the right. Just do much more work with this left side than you are doing with the right side, or your weaker side. Yeah, if you do more work with it, then it's going to do more. What happens is, if your right hand's here, say this is in my case, my right hand and my left hand, this being the weaker side, it could be the other way around. Yeah, if you do the same with both hands, so i.e. you do 8 on this hand, 8 on this hand, 16th on both hands, what happens is, it gets faster and it gets better, but it gets better at the same time as this hand's getting better. Okay, so that gap never closes. What you need to think about is here, do more with this hand with the weaker side, so that the gap goes like that, and this gradually, this gap starts to shrink, and it gets smaller and smaller. But that's the only way to do it, is to get more out of your weaker side, so to do more with it. Okay, so one that I use with my students quite a bit is, again, this kind of falls into the open-handed thing, but I will come back to that in a sec, Ben. So James, here's the one that I would do. I would think about a really simple shuffle, and to be honest, don't really worry too much about kind of how it sounds. Yeah. So a really simple shuffle played this way. Just set it up, playing it in the normal way that you would normally play it, and then switch it and play the shuffle, play the hi-hat pattern with your left hand. Okay. Just keep it really simple for now. Yeah. And that's going to really help because you're doing much more work with the left than you are with your right, which again is going to close that gap. Okay. Show you what that sounds like. Okay, so it doesn't really matter which way you play it. I'm kind of playing like the half-time shuffle there. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, okay. The idea is that the left hand, or your weaker side, is doing much more than your other side. Okay, and that's going to help now to close that gap and keep things moving on. Yeah, got a couple more questions there, but let's answer these first. Okay, so it's going to help just close that gap. Yeah, so James, I hope that that's answered your question in terms of doing more. Yeah. You just need to do double, triple, or 4, 5, 10 times more with the weaker side than you are with your strong side, and that gap will gradually close. It's not going to be an overnight thing. Okay, it's going to be a thing that takes quite some time, but you will get it. Yeah, it will start to come together. And this is all this stuff that I'm doing with you guys, and have done, in all the lessons that we've done. It's all just stuff that I teach on a daily basis. It's not a sort of, play amazing drums in a week course. Yeah, it's an ongoing process that you need to keep working on and working on and working on. It's not going to come, you're not going to get it without the work. You've got to put the work into it. Okay, there are certain people who can just play. Yeah, a couple of my students, give them an exercise, they just play it. Okay, a couple of my teachers, the guys that work for me, give them an exercise, they play it. Brilliant. Okay, but some people have got to put more work into it. Yeah, and that's how you do it, guys. Yeah, just do more. Okay, so that leads us on to kind of Ben's question as well, which is about the open-handed thing and dom and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Okay. I've only really played open-handed in exercises. Okay. Just to, basically, as we've just done there, to build up my weaker side. Yeah, which has really worked. It really has worked. Yeah, but I don't generally play open-handed in a gig situation and recording or whatever I'm doing. Yeah, okay. It's not to say that I can't. It's just that I feel more comfortable playing cross. But I have got students that are open-handed, so I have to demonstrate open-handed playing, and it's a slightly different way of thinking about things that you're leading, more with your left hand. Okay, but I'll show you some exercises to develop it and how to get that kind of flowing. Yeah. Okay, and the easy way to do it, again, when you're playing open-handed, really, you could really drop your hi-hat down to the level of your snare, yeah, because the only reason the hi-hat's up there is so that this hand can fit underneath, yeah. So if you drop it down, it's much more natural. If you look at Billy Cobham, Simon Phillips, Dom Famularo, these kind of guys, yeah, the hi-hats are really low down here because they don't need to be up, yeah. So if you are thinking about it, drop the hi-hat down. Yeah, and that's a much more natural position than trying to play like this. Okay, so that's the first step. But in this exercise, let's keep it as it is. And all I really want you to think about, is playing again, doing more with the left. So let's play a simple groove with the right hand. So cross-handed, as you would normally play, and then switch it in the next bar and play it open-handed and leave it there. So maybe do 1 bar of cross and 3 bars of open, yeah. And gradually, just change maybe the bass drum pattern or the grace notes or something that you put in there, so it starts to feel more like you're cross-handed playing. Okay, let me explain that to you. Let me play that for you. Okay, so you kind of get the idea there that if you do much more with it, yeah, and build it up, you know, play the pattern, a pattern that you like to play cross-handed, and then try and replicate that and keep it, you know, open-handed, and try not to make it, you know, try not to get it to sound any different. Try and get it to match the sound of, keep the sound sounding the same. Okay, so yeah, great. Okay, before I go on to the next question, let me just check and see what questions these were. Okay. All right, David, it's just coming now. All right, okay. Still on the open-handed theme. What are the advantages of playing? What are the advantages of open-handed over cross-handed? Okay, there are a couple. Okay, one that it really kind of helps to open up your weaker side. But the main one to me, and the reason why I do it sometimes, is that if I'm trying to play this groove, and I want to put toms in, I want to go. Yeah, it's possible just to put that toms in, but if you play it open-handed, it gives you so much more freedom to be able to get yourself around the kit this way, okay, with this staying where it is. All right, so I'll play a few, like I said, I'm flying through these quite quickly because it's quite a lot of questions, yeah, okay, but I'll try and put some toms in there, I'll maybe put some little bits and some little licks between hands and feet in there and things, yeah, okay, which will probably lead us on to the next question from Tori, which is about how I develop the foot speed, but I'll talk to you about that in a minute. Okay, so a little bit of open and the advantages of it for David, I think it was, yeah, just to show you that it's much easier to play, with this hand free at this side without this one being in the way. Okay, here we go. Okay, so there's the advantages there of kind of playing open-handed. That would be, if I tried to do that the other way, especially the end part, which I'll explain to you in a minute. Very, very difficult. Yeah, playing it this way, dead easy. Okay, so there's the answer, Ben and David. Okay, how to develop it is to play much more. So start a groove right-handed, cross-handed, flip it round, play it open-handed, try and match the sound. Start it slowly with a click so you know where you're getting to. Vary the bass drum pattern, keep it simple because obviously it's going to possibly start to cause a few independence problems. Okay, so again, there's some independent stuff I think in the archives, or if there isn't yet, there will be because I've done an independence lesson, again, on how to develop some independence, so that's all in there, okay? So, yeah, that's good questions, guys, good questions. So, I'll double check here, see what we got. Okay. Tori, let's have a look to your question on my. Obviously, this is another one on how I've developed my playing, my own playing, which is my foot speed. Okay, all of that stuff you just did there, I'm actually playing with 1 foot. Okay, there is a double pedal down here, but I very, very rarely use it. I am working on things at the moment, like trying to create the same with the right as the left. So maybe something like this. Okay, so it's just an exercise in developing, the left foot and the right foot. Okay, so but the exercise that I use more than anything is to develop this sort of the quick double. Yeah, is to play a simple 8th note groove. Tori, this is it. Simple 8th note groove. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 3 and 1 and 3 and 1 E, 1 E, 3 E, 1 E, 2 E, 3 E, 4 E, 1 E, 2 E, 3 E, 4 E. Yeah. So basically, what we've done is we've gone through the subdivisions. We've gone quarter notes, we've gone 8th notes, we've gone 16th notes on 1 and 3, 16th notes on all 4, and then we've done like the Bonham thing, like the Bonham triplet, and put the double in between the 8th notes. Yeah. So let me play that slowly for then I'll speed it up. And this is the exercise that I've used to get the foot speed. I'll show you one more as well after this. Okay, so that's the exercise that I used to create, to get the foot speed to where it is now. So you've got the kind of my secrets for the hand speed from Paul's question, and you've kind of got my secrets for foot speed from Tori's question. Okay, so yeah, but it's time, guys. It takes time, and it takes time. Okay, quick question. I'll recap this. Phil, what am I doing? Okay, what was I playing between the floor tom and bass drum when I was playing open-handed? I think that's what you mean, Phil. Yeah, cool. Okay, basically it's another one. This leads on from the developing the foot speed, Tori. What I did was for a long time was this. So I just sat and did 16th notes. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 and a, and a, and a, and a, and a. Okay, so that's another part of the foot speed thing. Yeah. In terms of the other one, I tried to do it both ways, and do it this way as well. So the left. Mix the two together. So play maybe one bar of right hand and this one. I didn't really worry about this because it's not something that I'm going to use, but maybe a bar there to the right and a bar there to the left. Okay, just worked on it really slow. So do it slowly first and I'll speed it up. Okay. Okay, so that's another one of the exercises that I use to develop my foot speed. Okay, Phil, basically what I was doing in the groove, slow this right down, is playing 8th notes and playing hand and foot. Maybe moving it. Just messing with the timing of it, so maybe. That's about all it is. Show you that just without the 8th notes to start with. so again, it just kind of comes down to the little sort of hand speedy exercise, the foot speed exercise, doubles and doubles on the feet, yeah, okay, and then just trying to get that coordination to work so that your 8th notes are over the top of it, okay. So hopefully that's answered your question, Phil. Good night, guys. Good questions, good things, yeah, okay. There's only one thing left really to do now, unless there's any more questions. Let's have a quick look. I'll have a recap, and then I'm randomly just going to flick through the questions. Yeah, I know I've wrote them down on here, yeah, but they're all obviously in here, and I'm going to pick somebody who has won the year subscription. Okay. Okay, so a quick recap. Hand speed exercise, 8th notes, 16th notes. Building the weaker side for James. 8th notes, 8th notes, 8th notes, 8th notes, 8th notes, 16th notes. Or left open-handed shuffle, open-handed groove. Okay, leading on to Ben's question. Yeah, open-handed groove. Yeah, open-handed, open-handed, open-handed. Yeah, making the left-hand side do much more than the right-hand side. Okay, then I believe on to David's question in terms of what are the advantages of open-handed playing. Again, it gives you the freedom around this side of the kit to be able to do that. Yeah, to be able to play and get that working. Okay. Gives you much more freedom, much more freedom. Okay, and then on to Tori's question in terms of developing the foot speed, yeah, which was based around the exercise of doing the subdivisions underneath the groove, quarter notes, 8th notes, 16th notes on 1 and 3, 16th notes on all 4, 1E, 2E, 3E, 4E, and then like the Bonham kind of triple, putting the 16th, putting them in the middle, yeah. So doubles, hand, foot, hand, foot, developed with the right foot, developed with the left foot, okay, and then on to, again, Phil's question, which was based around something I actually played there within the open-handed playing, okay. So I'm just going to play a little bit and show you a few of those little bits, and then I'm going to pick a winner, and then we're done. Just keep watching, guys. Somebody's going to win that. It's almost £90, almost £80. For the year subscription, okay. So somebody's going to get that very soon, okay. All right, guys, here we go. Who's going to win? Scrolled. There. Okay, it is David. Brilliant, David. I don't know your last name, David, but David, you've just got a year subscription to the members area, my man. So congratulations on that. Send me an email, either through the site there, or send it to richard@rawstudios.net. Okay, Richard@rawstudios.net, and I will send everything back to you, tell you exactly what you need to do with it next, and we'll sort it out from there. So congratulations, David, that's brilliant, mate. Well done. You've got a year's subscription there. Check out all the archives. You're into all the archives now. Everything that I've done that's online is going to be in there. There's loads of other stuff in there. There's loads of extra lessons. There's loads of me putting YouTube videos in there of other people that I think my students will find useful. Okay, so again, David, congratulations, my man. You've got a year's subscription, so we'll have lots of questions from you, and hopefully you're playing on Move On really, really well. All right, guys, thanks for checking it out. Keep checking back for the schedule. The new schedule will be up soon, and I will see you on the next lesson. Cheers.